Hey everybody, I'm Jack Lombardo and I'd like to welcome you once again to Jack's Interesting Facts. Well, as we all know, it's been a less than stellar week throughout the world as a lot of people have been being put into quarantine or lockdown. Businesses are being shut down for periods of time as COVID-19 pandemic rages on. And on a personal level, my father passed away 2 days ago, so it has been, a sad week is the way to put it. So as I was thinking about that, I thought it'd be a great time to look at what is often referred to as the happiest place on earth, and that of course is Walt Disney World. Now personally, my ties to Walt Disney World are this. I have not been there since I was a child. I remember the last time I went specifically, they were building Epcot Center. I was in 5th grade, which would have made it probably the early 80s, possibly late 70s. But as I went into college, I had a professor recommend a book to me. It was recommended reading, not required. A book called Inside the Magic Kingdom by Thomas K. Kennellan. And as I read it, I was just blown away by the excellence that Disney puts into everything they do in the park. How they try to just make things run so perfectly and they put such attention to detail. So most of what I'm going to talk about this week comes from that book. A few other things from other sources. But let's take a look at a little bit about how the Disney World, the Magic Kingdom, is run. Now first, it is incredibly clean for a place that has thousands and thousands of people there at any given point in time. Early on, Walt Disney used to go to carnivals in his life and he was always appalled at how dirty they were. So when he made Disneyland and then later Disney World, he wanted them clean. Research was done to see how far a person would normally walk before they'd throw away a piece of trash. And based on that research, you will see that Walt Disney World has a trash can at least every 30 steps. Now, beyond that, every cast member, as they call their employees, every cast member is considered a part of the custodial staff. If they see something on the ground, they pick it up. If they see something dirty, they clean it or they call somebody in. It gets done as quick as possible because they want things done in excellence. Other ways they do things in excellence is even just small details that make a big difference. On the Prince Charming carousel, the gold paint is actually 23 karat gold leaf paint. Now they could have just used regular gold, and most of the people that come in the park don't even know that, but the way they put it, their employees know, and it makes a difference for them to realize that if they put so much detail into something like that, the employees realize they want everything done in excellence, and the employees themselves or cast members will then act in excellence. At least that's the theory, and it does seem to work. Now, looking at some of the specifics, the first thing that really jumped out to me as I read through this book was the attention to detail in the Hall of Presidents. Now, the Hall of Presidents obviously is not a big, exciting ride, probably not one of the most exciting attractions at Disney World, although it's been there right from the beginning. And as you go in and you see the robots, the animatronics, the details to the presidents are quite detailed. They look very much like they would in real life. But they pay attention to such little details as well. Now, all the clothing is exact replicas of clothing those presidents wore during their term as president. And when I say exact replicas, I don't mean just they were made to look like it. They use the exact material that would have been used at that time, at that year that they were president. They use the exact kind of stitching, whether it would have been hand stitching, a specific kind of hand stitching. If it was a sewing machine, they'd use a sewing machine from that period. All of it is done in incredible detail. And then on the presidents themselves, there are specific details that, they're so minute that if you're not looking for them, you don't know they're there, but Disney takes the time to find these things out. President Bill Clinton was known for wearing a Timex Ironmen watch, a digital watch. That is not the type of watch a president would normally wear, but he was known for having several of them, including early ones, so they put a Timex Ironman on Bill Clinton, and even more so, it's always set to the exact time. It's never off. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, we all know now, people didn't realize it at the time, but he was paralyzed while he was in office and had to have braces put on his legs. So they have him sitting down rather than standing, because he wouldn't have been standing for very long. And they have the actual braces, or exact replicas of the braces on his legs. Now, people coming in the Hall of Presidents can't see that. They're under his pants. But they still took the time to add in that detail, because this is how they operate. They want things done in excellence. Now, another thing I think is amazing that they do at Disney World is that early on in Disneyland, again, Walt Disney saw a character walking through the wrong park. So now you will never see somebody out of place. You won't see somebody from Fantasyland and Frontierland or anything like that. Excuse me. And the way that Walt Disney was able to make this happen is he built tunnels underneath of Walt Disney World so that employees can go down there to change. There's break rooms, there's locker rooms, that's the way the main wardrobe area is. They can even get haircuts there, they can get their food there, they can buy shoes there. All this is done under the park, so you'll never see anybody on break, you'll never see anybody relaxing, you'll never see anybody taking off their costume, out of costume, or again, you'll never see them in the wrong area, the wrong park. It's a really incredible thing that was added to Disney World. A lot of people don't realize there's tunnels right under there. So when you're actually walking around Disney World, you're walking over a tunnel. It's pretty wild. I think that's great. But the greatest thing to me, or the thing I found the most interesting about Disney World, is the hidden Mickeys. Now, hidden Mickeys are nothing new. They've been around in Walt Disney Productions since as early as their first animated film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, where you can see hidden Mickey in the water after Snow White scrubs the steps, as well as in flowers at another point. And what a hidden Mickey is where they get a Mickey Mouse head, you know, the two little ears and the little round piece, and they hide them into a lot of their movies. Even in newer movies, in The Lion King, you could see an ant when they're marching into Simba's ceremony wearing Mickey Mouse ears, if you're paying attention. In The Hunchback of Notre Dame, there's Mickey ears in the cathedral. But looking at Walt Disney World, they are hidden all over the park. And I mean, if I ever go back to Disney World, and I hope I do, and love to take my 5 kids there sometime, I'm going to be looking for the hidden Mickeys everywhere. Now, I do know of a few. There is a hidden Mickey in the fireplace within the stones in the Mountain Resort Lodge. There is a hidden Mickey. Now, I think this one's really clever. On the It's a Small Ride World, when you see the baby kangaroo, which I assume is from Australia, I just read that it was a baby kangaroo, there's a light shining on him so that his ears reflect a hidden Mickey in the shadow behind him. And they're all over the place. They are, if you go on Splash Mountain, there is a hidden Mickey in one of the clouds. It's shaped like a Mickey Mouse head. They're all over the park. So when you're there, go ahead, take a look around, try to find some hidden Mickeys, and pay attention to some of the details. Go online before you go there. Look up some more. There's a lot more than what I'm explaining here or what I'm mentioning here, but I thought these were all pretty interesting, and I hope you do too. Once again, this is Jack's Interesting Facts. I am Jack Lombardo. Share this, like it, subscribe to the page, and I will see you again in another week with more of Jack's Interesting Facts. I hope next week we have a better week and more to report on, and I hope everyone is staying healthy out there. We'll see you all then.